If he wasn't a true king, he wouldn't have any sense of existence here. Not to mention her, even Ji Nan, an expert of the origin path, couldn't say anything. The moment Ji Hong arrived, he glanced below the high platform and sighed softly at the 30-odd divine generals gathered once more. This time, the Azure Wolf King gathered the surrounding divine generals. The 7 southern regions shared a border with Destiny Royal Court. More than 30 of the divine generals that had been sent here were from Destiny Royal Court. More than 30 people had gathered, and most of them were from Destiny Royal Court. This time, Destiny Royal Court had mobilized more than 50 divine generals. Azure Wolf King, isn't it inappropriate for you to send all the lords of the surrounding 17 royal cities here? Ji Hong glanced at the Azure Wolf King, a warm smile on his face. The city lords of the 17 surrounding royal cities were all brought here by him. 360 royal cities were the foundation of Destiny Royal Court. 360 royal city lords were also the foundation of Destiny Royal Court. These powerhouses had not only mobilized their direct divine generals, but they had also enlisted the royal city lords. This was overstepping their boundaries. At least without the royal court's orders, these true monarchs had no right to mobilize the Castellan powerhouses. The Azure Wolf King said indifferently, "Kill Fong Ping." The 4 halls of true monarchs have given the order. Fong Ping is currently in the 7 southern regions. Does the Lord think it's inappropriate to mobilize powerhouses to kill Fong Ping? Ji Hong chuckled. There's nothing inappropriate about it. However, the royal city lords aren't directly under the Hall of True Monarchs. Before this happened, shouldn't you have informed me? I forgot. Ji Hong laughed and lamented, "The Azure Wolf King is as straightforward as ever. However, I still want to say something. In the war with the Land of Rebirth, Destiny Royal Court isn't the main attacker. Now that the Mystic Jade Monarch has fallen, the Royal Court should be recuperating. Also, the 100 Kings Conference is imminent. Now that we're fighting with the Land of Rebirth, has the Green Wolf King considered something?" As Ji Hong spoke, he said indifferently, "Also, if I remember correctly, the Green Wolf King has been a true monarch for more than 700 years. Before becoming a true monarch, you've been guarding the King Wars." The Azure Wolf King frowned. "What do you mean, Lord?" Ji Hong sighed. "I don't want to guess or think about it. The Green Wolf King is the cornerstone of the royal court. When has the Ji family ever neglected the Wolf King? The 7 southern regions belong to the Wolf King, and the Wolf King is divided into 12 royal cities. Among all the true monarchs, the Wolf King's position is high, second only to a few true monarchs' powerhouses." The Green Wolf King frowned and said nothing. Beside him, King Pingshan glanced at the Green Wolf King with a strange expression. I guessed wrong. Previously, he thought that the Green Wolf King seemed to have gone crazy. He even thought that this fellow had reached an agreement with some people from the Sky Plant's royal court. But now, when Ji Hong said that this fellow had been guarding the King Wars 700 years ago, King Pingshan's heart was suddenly in turmoil. What did that mean? Was the second king already planning something? Could it be that the second king's men were in the true King Hall now, dragging the kings of God Continent into the vortex of war, using Fong Ping as an excuse to mobilize a large number of God generals to participate in the war? The God generals fell, and the King Wars broke out. As a result, God Continent and the Land of Rebirth fell into a quagmire of war. At this moment, who benefited? God Continent was not prepared to start a war with the Land of Rebirth's true monarchs, at least not now. This time, however, things were getting out of hand. Some of the true monarchs were agitated too, rushing over one after another. Some of the true monarchs, who held grudges against Fong Ping, were also rushing over. Where's the Bamboo King? King Pingshan suddenly thought of the Bamboo King. This fellow had been cooperating. Was it the Sky Plant's royal court's instruction, or did he have other plans? He was adding fuel to the fire. Both of them wanted a large-scale king wars to break out here. The Green Wolf King. Is he really the second king's man? King Pingshan suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. How many of such people were there? Those old monarchs from the Demon Emperor calendar were actually planning something too. Even though they were dead, they did not give up. Were they preparing to stage a comeback? Also, what kind of provocation did the Land of Rebirth receive this time? They were actually pouring in their military forces like crazy. Based on the past situation, the Land of Rebirth would have chosen to give up and return to the ground instead of continuing the war in the 7 southern regions. Moreover, there were true kings of the Land of Rebirth gathering here one after another. Both the War King and the Sword King had arrived. Rumor had it that the Martial King was outside the passageway and could arrive at any time. The 3 powerful true kings were all here. As he was thinking, in the next moment, another sword soared into the sky. Greetings, elder ancestors. In the blink of an eye, a powerhouse in a military uniform with a shaved head flew over. His military boots were shiny, and his expression was extremely cold. The Netherworld King had arrived. On the True King combat, ranking given by Zhang Tao, the War King, the Netherworld King, and the Sword King were all in the top 30. They were all peak-level powerhouses who had gone a long way in the Origin Dao. However, it seemed like there were not enough true kings gathered here. King Pingshan was a weak peak-level powerhouse. Just as he was thinking about it, more people arrived. Greetings, Maple King. Greetings, King Hua. King Hua is here too. King 100 Mountain is here too. King Pingshan had already sensed the coming of a shocking conspiracy. What were these people trying to do? The Maple King and the 100 Mountain King had arrived. These people were also extremely powerful true king powerhouses. Putting aside the Maple King, who was suspected to have taken the second path, the 100 Mountain King was also a peak-level true king. One of the paths he took was more than 5,000 meters, maybe more, on the peak-level combat ranking. The Maple King ranked 17th, the 100 Mountain King ranked 18th, and Li Jinsai only ranked 21st. As for Heavenly Plant's Royal Court's King Hua, he ranked 26th as well. These people were the strongest true monarchs under the Palace Master of the True Monarch Palace. No one dared to rank the true king powerhouses. King Pingshan also did not know about the peak-level combat ranking that old Zhang had created. However, he could more or less sense the strength of a true king. These people were not people he could compare to. In just a short while, a large number of peak-level true king powerhouses had gathered on both sides. Apart from the masters of the Grotto Heavens, there were 7 people in the top 30, including Zhang Tao. King Pingshan glanced at King Huai, who had just arrived. This idiot was here too? Was this guy here to die? King Huai had become a true king for a shorter time than him, and he had been jumping around. This time, if a battle between the true kings really broke out, this guy was probably the weakest. The probability of him being killed on the spot was very high. As for Ji Hong, his father was still alive. Even if the martial artists of the Land of Rebirth wanted to kill, they would not kill Ji Hong first. Whether Ji Hong participated in the battle or not was a problem. At this moment, there were already 10 true king powerhouses in the catacombs gathered here. There were only 3 people on the opposite side. Including Zhang Tao, there were only 4 people. However, everyone looked solemn. They had no intention of starting a battle now. 10 people against 4 people. Among them, there were powerful true kings like King Maple and King 100 Mountains. However, these people were not confident that they could take down these 4 powerhouses. King Maple could not be bothered to say anything to Warlord and the rest. As soon as he arrived, he quickly sensed around and frowned slightly. He did not see Fong Ping. Could that be asterisk starred be hiding his aura again? This little be asterisk starred had provoked him time and time again, causing him to embarrass himself and even spoiling his plans. This time, he really wanted to kill Fong Ping. Unlike the others who had other motives, he was not quite the same. Among the crowd, many people had their own motives, but he really wasn't. Among the people, he was the one who wanted to kill Fong Ping the most. What are you guys still doing? Go to the 7 southern territories, quickly gather everyone, and kill Fong Ping. Bring Fong Ping's head to see me, and you will be rewarded handsomely. King Maple said to the rank 9s below the high platform, and said, that little be asterisk star's hiding ability is extraordinary. Be careful of his sneak attack. Gather everyone and crush all the revived martial artists in the 7 southern regions. Kill them all. Let's see if he will show himself. As he spoke, King Maple frowned. Damn it, why is there my aura overflowing? He had felt the mentality turbulence earlier, and he knew that his clones had been used, but what he sensed now was that his clones did not seem to have any achievements. He could sense if he had killed someone or not. Not long had passed. His clone's aura had not completely overflowed. Damn it! King Maple cursed in his heart suddenly. Useless using his clones and actually failing to kill any of the resurrected martial artists. What a disgrace! As he spoke, Green Wolf King suddenly transmitted his voice. King Maple, Fong Ping is hard to kill. The Land of Resurrection is still recruiting God general martial artists into the territory. They may not be able to kill Fong Ping. Since King Maple is here, with King Maple's strength, why don't we attack the 7 southern territories forcefully? Destroy a territory, no matter how Fong Ping hides. He will definitely die. King Maple's expression changed slightly. Attack forcefully? There were many true kings on the other side, all powerhouses. Attack forcefully now. Green Wolf King lamented. We can't give the Land of Resurrection any more time. The Land of Resurrection has been accumulating for 100 years, and more powerhouses are about to become true kings. If we let this go on, Divine Land will be in danger. King Maple also transmitted his voice. Even so, this is extremely difficult. Although there are 10 true kings here, including you and me, how many of them are willing to fight with the Netherworld King? And the rest? Unless Green Wolf King has the confidence to convince Life King to join forces with us and attack the 7 southern territories together. That's not true. King Maple is powerful. In my opinion, King Maple can defeat War King. As for the others, as long as a few true kings join forces, it will be enough. We are not here to kill these true king powerhouses, but to enter the territory and kill Fong Ping and the rest. These true kings discussed animatedly. At the same time, on Ji Yao's side, Ji Hong shielded the surroundings and said, the 7 southern territories matter has gone out of control. Yao, leave as soon as possible. Father has to stay here and wait for the follow-up. Ji Yao hurriedly said, Father, Green Wolf King. Green Wolf King. Ji Hong's expression changed slightly. He's either related to Li Zhu or King Qian, or he's on the second king's side. This person has always kept a low profile. Father and your king ancestor didn't pay much attention to him. Only today did we notice something unusual. This person's purpose is unknown, but I'm afraid he wants to start a war between kings. Ji Yao gritted her teeth and suddenly said, Father, why don't we let King Ancestor? Ji Hong's expression froze. His daughter? How dare she? She actually wanted to let the Life King fight the true king powerhouses. This was impossible in the past. However, in the next moment, Ji Yao suddenly said, No, that's not good. Father, why don't you instigate them to start a war too? Green Wolf King and 100 Mountain King have always been at odds with our G family. This time, just like the time when they schemed against Mystic Jade, True King, we should take this opportunity to get rid of them. I'll see if I can contact the Land of Rebirth and kill these two True King powerhouses. The Land of Rebirth might be happy to kill these two True King powerhouses too. This is beneficial to them. There are many True Kings here. Don't talk nonsense. Ji Hong suddenly felt a chill in his heart. His daughter was too bold. True monarchs were supreme existences. 100 Mountain King was the top True King of the royal court. It was unbelievable that his daughter wanted to kill these two powerhouses. Ji Yao, however, did not care about this. She lowered her head and continued, "Father, it's not good to make a move. I don't have to worry. I can enter the 7 Southern Territory and contact Fang Ping. He definitely has a way to communicate with the true King of Rebirth." Fang Ping attracted a few True Kings to protect him in the land of King Wars. Martial King, War King, and Hades King should be close to him. If I can convince Fang Ping, then this war between True Kings can be fought. Father, the stronger they are, the more threatening they are. 100 Mountain King has always wanted to replace King Ancestor's position as the Hall Master. Green Wolf King also has bad intentions this time. Also, there are a few True Kings who are at odds with our G family. Why don't we summon them all together and kill them all? This will solve the problem once and for all. Ji Hong felt a chill in his heart. Cold air rushed up. His naive daughter in the past had calmly said that she had killed a few True Kings. They were True Kings of Destiny Royal Court. This was unbelievable. Ji Yao saw that her father did not speak and continued, "Also, Destiny Royal Court looks stronger than Skyplant's Royal Court. They only have 49 True Kings, while Destiny Royal Court originally had 54 True Kings. Father became a True King, and Mystic Jade, True King, died, so they still had 54. We have 5 more than them. This makes Skyplant's Royal Court very wary. This time, 100 Mountain King and a few others died. Many True Kings of Destiny Royal Court died, one after another. This can also numb Skyplant's Royal Court and make them think that we are nothing. Also, this way, we can also reach a tacit understanding with the True Kings of the Land of Rebirth. They will no longer pay attention to us and continue to focus on Skyplant's Royal Court." Ji Yao spoke for a while before finally saying, "Also, King Ancestor. Yao thinks that King Ancestor doesn't need to be so anxious. King Ancestor doesn't know how strong the 2 True Kings are now. Yao thinks that it's better to wait and see." Yao, Ji Hong's expression was complicated. Was this really his daughter? Had she been replaced? Why did she feel so unfamiliar? Ji Yao lifted her head. Her expression was also complicated. She said, "I want to become a King Lord. I want to become a True King too. Before King Father came, Green Wolf King scolded me at every turn. His murderous intent was boiling. He even wanted to kill me. King Father sent God generals. Green Wolf King sent God generals into the realm without asking me. I didn't dare to question him. King Father, if they were alive, would they allow me to become a King Lord? The G family has 3 True Kings. Who could agree to that? We must first stabilize the internal situation to fend off external enemies. If the internal situation is unstable, when the war comes in the future, how will we lead the kings of the royal court?" Ji Yao took a deep breath. Her tone was solemn. "So, this is an opportunity. Everyone wants a war between True Kings. Yao thinks that the Land of Rebirth seems to want it too. If that's the case, there will definitely be a war. Then let the situation be more favorable to the G family and not the other True Kings. My daughter and Fang Ping are working together. This is the most important bond. To show my sincerity, maybe I can help the land of rebirth win the war between god generals. Ji Hong's expression was solemn. Ji Yao gritted her teeth. After a while, she said, King Father, please send another 5 god realm powerhouses to escort me into the 7 Southern Territory with Uncle Ji Nan. I will contact the previous 4 commanders and help the land of rebirth kill the powerhouses. It's too obvious. Ji Hong sighed. Ji Yao didn't say a word. It was not obvious. His daughter had always been a failure. This time was no exception. Moreover, in the end, the Ji family's 10 god generals were completely annihilated. Who dared to say that the Ji family did it on purpose, including Uncle Ji Nan? His daughter was captured. The Ji family secretly exchanged a large amount of resources in exchange for his daughter's life. As long as it was not spread out and deliberately leaked to some true kings, who would dare to believe that the Ji family would plot against everyone at such a price. However, in this way, the Ji family also suffered an extremely heavy loss. However, if he did not become a true king, what could a god realm powerhouse do? Not to mention the fact that outsiders were still outsiders. The only thing that mattered was becoming stronger himself. After this incident, all those who objected were dead. Although he failed in the 7 Southern Territory, he was also the only heir who had the hope of becoming the King Lord. No one objected. It was only logical that he would become the King Lord. Ji Yao could not wait any longer. Now that the situation had worsened, Fang Ping and the rest already possessed the combat strength of god generals. They went on a killing spree in the 7 Southern Territory and shook the true kings. If he did not become a true king, how could he compete? At this moment, Ji Hong still did not know his daughter's thoughts. He did not expect that Ji Yao actually had the idea of sending a large number of god generals under the Ji family to their deaths. Among the 10 god generals, 4 of them were also original Source Dao. In addition to the 5 original Source Dao that Ji Yao mentioned, including Jinan, there would be a total of 7 original Source Dao powerhouses. Although the Ji family was powerful, 7 original Source Dao and 3 weak rank 9s had fallen, it was still a huge blow. They were in big trouble. Father, make a decision when it's time to make a decision. Ji Yao reminded him again. If he did not make a decision now, it would be too late. After this battle, he might really be able to step onto the stage and become the king of the royal court. Fang Ping was right in the past. Everyone would be destroyed if they did not look out for themselves. At this moment, the only right thing to do was to make himself stronger. Everything else had to be pushed back. In the war between races, the difference between friend and foe was the true king's business. If he did not become a true king, he did not even have the right to speak. What right did he have to worry about the future of Godland? Ji Hong's expression changed again and again. Should he do it? Should he agree or not? Contact the land of rebirth and kill the true king powerhouses together. Once this matter was exposed, the Ji family would also be in big trouble. But this was a rare opportunity. The existence of King 100 Mountain and the others was a threat, not a help. Li Zhu, at this moment, a figure appeared in Ji Hong's mind. If it was Li Zhu, what would he choose at this moment? At the same time, Ji Hong thought of Li Zhu. Skyplant City. Li Zhu said indifferently, Marshal King's intention is simple and clear. After a battle, the land of rebirth will be destroyed and will no longer be a threat. Godland will just focus on dealing with the 2 kings. It was not hard to guess the Green Wolf King's heart. If he was not from Skyplant's royal court, then he must be from the 2 kings. He also needed to fight. Chapter 830. Magic City Catacombs. the restricted area rank 9's gathering place. At this moment, the auras of powerhouses penetrated heaven and earth, extremely powerful. Just as these people converged with Monster Sunflower City Lord and the others, the void suddenly shook. The unknown is interesting. Stop looking. Rumble. The void shook. In the next moment, a true king screamed sharply, "How dare you? It's no fun if you see the result." Ha ha ha. Warlord's laughter spread throughout the 7 southern territories. Then, all the true kings and paragons' mentalities vanished at the same time. In the 7 southern territories, the true kings and paragons became blind and deaf. The mentalities of the powerhouses on both sides vanished. Sensing this scene, someone in the crowd quickly snorted. Warlord must have an ulterior motive for doing this. Fong Ping can restrain his aura and even change it. Be careful of Fong Ping in case he sneaks into our midst. Yes, Warlord obliterated the immortal gods on both sides. I'm afraid he's trying to create an opportunity for Fong Ping. Everyone, don't be careless. These people were discussing. Soon, someone sneered. Don't worry about Fong Ping. If we don't split up, what can he do? The resurrected god generals are in the west now. Let's crush them and kill them. I want to see if Fong Ping will show up or not. Kill everyone else and block the passageway entrance. We don't have to force him. He'll show up himself. That's right. At this moment, everyone reached a consensus. They were powerful and numerous. Why should they split up and give Fong Ping a chance? So what if Fong Ping hid? With more than 80 god generals here, would he dare to ambush them? Even if he came, he would be walking into a trap. In the next moment, more than 80 rank 9s went straight to the west. They gathered together and crushed the other party with their strength. No matter how many tricks the resurrected martial artists had, it was all for naught. After killing all the resurrected martial artists, what could Fong Ping, a venerable, do to them? At the same time, these people were halfway to the west. In a city, Fong Ping killed a rank 7 martial artist in an instant. Old man Li's sword broke through the void and killed a rank 8 golden body in the blink of an eye. In an instant, the 2 of them turned into the auras of the 2 who were killed. Old man Li felt that his heart was about to jump out. After a while, he asked, "Did anyone notice?" "I'm fine." Carelessly, Fong Ping quickly changed into the clothes of the people he killed, collected their corpses, and said, "Instructor, you better run faster later. If you're too slow, more than 80 people will attack at once. They'll beat you up in an instant. Cut the crap. You're the same. In any case, I have 9th grade combat boots, but you don't." Fong Ping chuckled, then straightened his clothes. His voice was slightly shrill as he said, "Greetings, sirs." "I am." Old Manly rolled his eyes. Fong Ping muttered a few more sentences to himself. Satisfied, he said, "It's about time. If the sirs pass by the city, we'll use the flight step to entertain them. It's not a big problem. Killing a rank 9 right in front of them. Just thinking about it is exciting. What if they don't go this way? A straight line. Do you think that when more than 80 rank 9s arrive, they'll take a detour? They must be heading straight for the west. These people are used to being arrogant. It's just a catacombs outer city. Moreover, even a rank 9 has died in battle. Why would they deliberately avoid this city?" After saying that, Fong Ping lamented, "It's a pity that they might not stop. If they really did stop, maybe they could blow up the giant mine and kill a few weak rank 9s. Although he said that in the face of a great battle, these catacombs powerhouses would not go there unless they had lost their minds. Otherwise, only a fool would enter Royal City as a guest. Fong Ping did not waste any more words. He left the mansion with Old Man Li. This place was near the city lord's residence. However, The city lord was already dead. The guardian monster plant was also dead. Right now, everyone in the city was in a state of panic. Not many people paid attention to Fong Ping and the other two powerhouses who had gathered together. They did not dare to approach and communicate either. Fong Ping raised his head and looked toward the north. There, streams of aura pierced through the sky and earth, heading straight for them. After a while, Fong Ping and Old Man Li suddenly used the flight step. At this moment, Fong Ping was disguised as the rank 8 powerhouse who was killed by Old Man Li earlier. At this moment, he suddenly used the flight step, saying loudly, "Sirs, is there anything I can do to help?" In front of him, there were dozens of rank 9 powerhouses. Some of them ignored him. Some of them were talking among themselves. The divine general under Bamboo King's command, on the other hand, flew forward a distance. The 7 Southern Territories' Tianji clan was under Bamboo King's command. He should say something too. Hearing Fong Ping's question, the person said quickly, "Protect the city well. Be careful not to let thieves break in. As for other matters, you don't have to interfere." "Yes, sir." Fong Ping responded loudly, hurriedly dodging to the side. Beside him, Old Man Li also hurriedly dodged, giving way to the Midair passageway. Everyone ignored him. They used the flight step directly. Seeing that most of the troops were about to leave, there were still a few people left at the back. Fong Ping glanced at Old Man Li. Both of them exchanged glances. Their gazes fell on the rank 9 at the back at the same time. Boom. At this moment, Fong Ping's mentality self-detonated abruptly. The weak rank 9 powerhouse at the back staggered at once. The moment Fong Ping's mentality self-detonated, Old Man Li's sword pierced through the air as well. Buzz. A huge space rift swept across the weak rank 9 powerhouse directly. Both of them did not even look at the result. They used the flight step to escape. Only now did the shrill scream ring out. "Damn it! It's Fong Ping and the others. Kill them!" Everyone was enraged. More than 80 god generals had gathered together. They did not expect Fong Ping to be so daring. He suddenly pretended to be a powerhouse from the city, took the initiative to contact them, and attacked them the moment they passed by. This was simply unbelievable. Audacious was not enough to describe them. If more than 80 god generals stopped for even a moment and attacked together, even Zhang Weiyu would be blown up in an instant, let alone Fong Ping. But the other party did it. He had killed a divine general expert right in front of them. In the blink of an eye, dozens of god generals made their moves. Divine weapons with divine weapons tore through the air. Those without divine weapons also burst forth with their mental energy. Some even tore through the air and chased after them. Behind them, someone shouted, "Don't chase. We can't split up." Once they split up, it would be easy for them to be defeated one by one. Someone shouted, "Don't chase after them. Stay alert and kill the other resurrected divine generals." Both Fong Ping and his companion fled extremely quickly. Once they chased after them, the formation would be in disarray. If things got messy, it would be troublesome. Don't chase after them. Don't act alone, in case Fong Ping sneaks into our midst. The god generals under Maple King's command roared. These idiots, why would they chase after them? If they could not kill Fong Ping, then they would not kill him now. If one of them chased after them and was killed, then who knew if it would be them or Fong Ping and the others when they came back? This was the true terror of Fong Ping. In the next moment, more than 10 god generals who had chased after them rushed back one after another. Everyone looked gloomy. More than 80 people had a god general killed in front of them. Even if they knew that Fong Ping was difficult to deal with, these people still looked gloomy and cold at this moment. The burly man under Green Wolf King's command said, "Quickly! Don't chase after Fong Ping. Let him do whatever he wants. We'll go kill the resurrected divine general. From now on, don't come into contact with any outsiders. Other than ourselves, we can't trust anyone else. When we pass by Royal City, take a detour to avoid being ambushed." As he spoke, four auras suddenly rushed toward them from afar. *eminent, arrogant. Everyone was furious. The resurrected divine generals had so few people, yet they dared to split up. These people were just about to attack, when the four auras retreated in the blink of an eye, disappearing into the distance in an instant. "If you don't believe me, I'll go and test it out for you now." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping quickly turned around and sprinted for more than 10 li. His mentality erupted, and he roared, "King Maple is an idiot. King Huai is also an idiot. Green Wolf King is an animal. I'll crush his balls with one slap." Fong Ping's roar shook the heavens. His voice traveled tens of li. He scolded them as harshly as he could, as humiliated them as he could. At this moment, the movement of the troops in front suddenly slowed down. Where the catacombs' powerhouses were, dozens of god generals looked at each other. Someone looked at the powerhouses under the command of King Maple, King Huai, and the others with a strange expression. What should they do? The true king was at Mount Imperial Sea. Although his mentality had been extinguished and he could not hear them, there were so many people here. If they ignored this, they would be in big trouble. Damn it! The burly man suddenly cursed. This was an overt plot. Should they chase after him or not? If they did not kill him, that bastard would just follow behind and scold the true king loudly. To the true king, such humiliation was more unacceptable than the death of dozens of god generals. It was fine if they were not directly under the true king, but they were the god generals directly under the true king. If they did not do anything, what would the true king think? Damn bastard! The burly man was furious. This was telling them clearly that they had to come and kill him. That fellow was still scolding them now. The next moment, the burly man said angrily, "Send 15 people to surround and kill Fong Ping's longevity sword. Send 20 more people to surround and kill Snake King and the others. The rest of you go and eliminate those fellows." They had no choice but to split up. Otherwise, if this continued, the true king's name would be tarnished in the 7 Southern Territory. It was not like there were no living people in the 7 Southern Territory. How could the true king keep his face after such humiliation? In an instant, the team was divided into 3 teams. 15 people attacked Fong Ping and the others, 20 people attacked Zhang Weiyu and the others in the distance, and the remaining 50 people attacked Li Daong and the others. This time, Zhang Weiyu and Old Man Li were dumbfounded. They had fought against the catacombs for many years, but they had never been to the restricted area and had little contact with the catacombs' true king. They did not know clearly what the true king's position was in these people's eyes. Who would have thought that after Fong Ping scolded for a while, these people would still choose to split up despite knowing Fong Ping's purpose? While Zhang Weiyu did not know whether to laugh or cry, he had finally found a solution. It was so simple. However, he might not be able to use it better than Fong Ping. This kid knew too many catacombs' true kings' names. "I have a rank, 9 divine weapon. I can fight." After saying that, Lu Polu held the divine weapon longsword and was about to enter. Beside him, Chun Yaoting laughed. "Old Lu, you can't do it alone. Let the 2 of us do it together." "Us too." Su Giching and the rest of the elders also spoke up, saying loudly, "We have rank 8 combat strength. With divine weapons in hand, we can also fight a rank 9 together." How can MCMU powerhouses avoid the Battle of Magic City? Sino Nation is fighting with all its might. We are not willing to wait for the results of the battle. The few elders were in high spirits. We are powerhouses too. We can fight too. Let's go together. Together. In the crowd, more and more rank 8 powerhouses stood up, saying loudly, "We have a golden body. We won't die so easily. Minister, the high grandmasters have all rushed to the catacombs. I'm afraid the situation is not good. Let us go in." Minister. Voices full of anticipation came one after another. Zhang Tao looked around and suddenly laughed. "All right, then you guys be careful. Don't split up. Remember, don't die. It's not worth it. Today, I'm ready to break all the rules. At the crucial moment, I will destroy all rank 9s. It's not worth it for you to die now. They are not in danger. If the danger is too great, I will enter the catacombs and kill those fellows." As soon as he said that, everyone looked excited. Then, fight. The next moment, more than 20 rank 8 powerhouses stepped into the passageway. Zhang Tao looked at the rank 7 martial artists and a large number of middle-ranked martial artists behind him, smiling. "Don't worry. There will be opportunities for you to join the battle." Of course, the premise is that the rules are still there. If the rules are still there, then you guys will enter later and destroy Magic City's 12 cities. In this battle, Magic City's catacombs will be leveled. Destroy the catacombs in one battle. Truly destroy the 7 Southern Territory. Victory! Loud roars resounded through the sky. More than 10,000 martial artists roared at the top of their lungs. This battle must be won. Magic City's catacombs must be leveled. More and more rank 9 powerhouses joined the battle. A large number of rank 8 powerhouses also began rushing to the catacombs to join the battle. Sino Nation would definitely win this battle and destroy the 7 Southern Territory in one battle. In Magic City, vitality soared to the sky, dispersing the dark clouds in the sky. Last night, it rained, and the dark clouds did not disperse. Today, everyone was united. The powerhouses did not care. These middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists unleashed their vitality, soaring to the sky, restoring clarity to the world. In the catacombs, the number of Sino Nation rank 9 powerhouses with combat strength had reached 29. There were also dozens of rank 8. This was almost Sino Nation's limit. Zhang Tao pondered for a moment. No matter how strong a paragon was, he could be considered invincible if he could take down 1 million people at once. Evacuation. At this stage, they might lose more than half of the population. Moreover, survival in the catacombs would be a big problem. Fortunately, the government's years of preparation were not without precautions. "I hope it won't come to this." Zhang Tao muttered in his heart. If it really came to that, Sino Nation that had been guarded for so many years would really fall. Kill. Kagu. In the 7 Southern Territories, the sound of fighting shook the heavens. Li Daong and the rest began to encounter the other party. More than 70 rank 9s broke out. In an instant, 18 human powerhouses, 5 rank 9s, and nearly 100 rank 7s and 8s were engaged in a chaotic battle in the blink of an eye. Rumble! The sound of an explosion rang out. A rank 7 monster that participated in the battle exploded instantly. The Sly roared. "Fight! Kill! If you don't die in this battle, I will help you become venerables, achieve the king realm. Kill!" The Sly was also desperate to throw out benefits. Whether it could be done or not, he would say it first. When the time came, he would just look for Chef. This time, the demons in the bounded zone had really contributed a lot. Would Chef have the cheek not to give them benefits? 23 rank 9s together with hundreds of demons, were also evenly matched with the other party. At this time, from the direction of Hope City, 5 rank 9s were also coming swiftly. Behind them, more than 20 rank 8s were also rushing over. Kong Lingyuan sensed these people's aura and was overjoyed. He shouted, "Reinforcements are here. Linlong and the rest are here. Today, we will destroy these beasts." As soon as he finished speaking, the divine weapon-folding fan in Kong Lingyuan's hand suddenly enlarged countless times, covering heaven and earth. The folding fan directly enveloped more than a dozen rank 9 powerhouses. Kong Lingyuan spat out golden blood, shouting continuously, "Trap! Seal! Destroy!" Kong Lingyuan spat out, word by word. On the folding fan, brilliant golden light erupted. Li Daong laughed. "Old Kong, you're really something. You're already 100 years old. When did you secretly become Minister Zhang's disciple?" "You talk too much." Kong Lingyuan's face was pale. He laughed loudly. In the void, a crystal book suddenly appeared, instantly merging into the folding fan. The folding fan was like a cover, covering those rank 9 powerhouses who were still attacking wildly. There were a total of 12 of them, piercing the air. At this time, Li Daong also roared angrily. The piercing swordsmanship was unleashed. He was Li Zhun's student, at least half a student. Peerless powerhouses' ultimate techniques were usually not passed down even to their descendants. The Catacombs' true king's ultimate technique was something that only a few descendants could learn. However, powerhouses like Li Zhun would pass down their ultimate techniques as long as they were suitable for others. Old Man Li and Li Daong had both learned Li Zhun's piercing swordsmanship. At this moment, Li Daong slashed with his sword. Cracks appeared in the void, covering the rank 9s like a spider web. The rank 9 divine weapon in his hands actually let out a creaking sound, showing signs of breaking. Kong Lingyuan's ultimate technique had the shadow of Zhang Tao's ultimate technique. Li Daong directly used Li Zhun's ultimate technique. Both peerless powerhouses of mankind had passed down their ultimate techniques. At this moment, even the Catacombs' powerhouses who were their enemies were green with envy in the Catacombs. Even their children, even if they had reached the origin realm, the true king's ancestors might not necessarily pass down their ultimate techniques, let alone outsiders. But now, at this moment, many Catacombs powerhouses had an indescribable feeling in their hearts. Actually, many of them had been on the path of origin for a long time. Some of them were not worse than Kong Lingyuan, but their combat strength was far from his. Why? They lacked something to increase their combat strength. Kong Lingyuan enveloped the 12-rank 9 powerhouses. His folding fan was also hit until it cracked. On his golden body, cracks erupted one after another, showing signs of exploding. Seeing that the others were about to step forward to help, Kong Lingyuan roared, "Take this opportunity to kill the enemy. 30 seconds. He could trap them for 30 seconds, even if his origin path would be damaged again afterward. Back then, when he cultivated for many years, his origin path was heavily injured because of a scene like this. However, back then, his opponents were only 4 rank 9s, and he was almost killed. Now, his injuries had just healed, and he had just returned. This scene happened again. Maybe after this time, he would no longer have the chance to advance to the top, but that was nothing. If he won this battle, the rank 9s who participated in the battle today might all be able to reach his level. Everyone would be Kong Lingyuan. Winning this battle at the cost of his origin path dissipating was worth it. Crack, in the void, the folding fan began to crumble. The explosion of 12 rank 9 powerhouses was not something Kong Lingyuan could defend against. However, he alone entangled 12 of them. Even if it was only for a moment, This was also a scene worthy of being written about in the history of rank 9. They were all rank 9s. This was invincibility. Other than Chun Yaozu, were Zhang Weiyu and the others more senior than Kong Lingyuan? That old thing, Zhao Xingwu, took advantage of his seniority. His ranking was even lower than Kong Lingyuan's, yet he dared to brag that killing him would be easy. If it were not for the minister telling him not to risk his life, he would not have smacked that old thing to death. Kong Lingyuan risked his life to entangle 12 rank 9 powerhouses. It was shocking. Li Daong and the others all erupted crazily. Destructive power surged out. Blood splattered in the sky. Golden blood poured down like raindrops. The battle was getting more and more intense. From time to time, the sound of demons exploding could be heard. There were also catacombs rank 9 powerhouses who fell. On the human side, the weak ones like Minister Wang, the divine weapon that he had just obtained, exploded with a bang. His golden body was also crippled, unable to fight anymore. He fell to the ground, his eyes full of unwillingness. The sound of killing resounded throughout the 7 southern territories. At this moment, below, in the underground black hole, the original land had already disappeared. The cat's big head popped out a little, looking at the battle in the sky. That guy is going to die. The cat glanced at Kong Lingyuan and muttered. This guy was very powerful. At least among the pseudo-gods, he was considered one of the top ones. He was not afraid of death, and his combat strength was unparalleled. But he was really going to die. That folding fan was the representation of his Tao of origin. The moment the folding fan completely collapsed, his Tao of origin would also be completely destroyed. If he was lucky, he would become a cripple. If he was unlucky, he would die immediately. Doggy's descendant. How shameless. The cat suddenly looked at the Jiao. This guy was fishing in troubled waters. He had been fighting a weak rank 9 for a long time. 1 man and 1 demon were fighting passionately, but in reality, the danger was extremely low. The cat was a little speechless. This guy was really embarrassing. Its ancestor was very powerful and incomparably brave. He killed gods and Buddhas when he met gods and Buddhas. But this guy, why was he so afraid of death? He looked at Kong Lingyuan again. Seeing that his folding fan was about to collapse completely, the cat tilted its head and thought for a while. Suddenly, it spoke telepathically. You there, come down a little. Come down a little. This cat can help you kill a few. Remember to give this cat some cat food. Kong Lingyuan, who was spewing blood nonstop, was almost scared to death. The battle was going well. Suddenly, someone directly broke through his mentality defense and spoke into his brain. How scary! However, in the next moment, joy exploded in Kong Lingyuan's eyes. He let out a crazy roar. His flesh cracked, and both his legs exploded directly. Still, he forcefully dragged the 12 rank 9s down a little. The cat tilted its head and looked for a while. Then it said, "Come down a little. It's too high. Why do you guys fly so high when you fight? Really, I can't reach it. Your tail is too big. It's not good if people see it." Kong Lingyuan almost vomited blood. "Go down again. I'm going to die. If I go down a little more, I'm going to collapse." The cat was a little impatient. It said again, "Otherwise, this cat will leave." In the next second, the cat suddenly said, "That's not right. I can use the origin space. Forget it. I'll go that high." When the words came out, Kong Lingyuan did not react. In an instant, the rank 9s he covered suddenly had a dull look in their eyes. It was as if their mentality was sucked out in an instant. In the blink of an eye, these people fell down one after another. Kong Lingyuan was stunned for a moment. Then, 12 people lost their signs of life at the same time. On the ground, the cat seemed to be looking at something. Sharp claws popped out of its huge cat paws and poked at the void. With a poke, a rank 9 powerhouse on the ground exploded with a bang. With a poke, a rank 9 exploded. After poking for a while, the cat suddenly raised its head and glanced at Kong Lingyuan, who was also falling. Its big face was a little conflicted. The origin path had collapsed. That was so fast. It had just praised him that he was very strong. Why did he only last for a while? Should I save him or not? That strong guy didn't say he wanted to save him. He only said he wanted to help kill some people. The cat was conflicted for a while. It felt like it was at a disadvantage. Forget it. I'll save him, but I can't do anything about the origin path. The cat hesitated for a moment. It did not go up. Instead, it waited for Kong Lingyuan to fall down. Then it curled up Kong Lingyuan with its tail and patted him for a while with its paws. After a while, Kong Lingyuan's eyes were tightly shut. His aura that was about to dissipate earlier had stabilized. That's it. I think I'm at a disadvantage this time. The cat did not care about him anymore. With a sweep of its tail, it tossed Kong Lingyuan somewhere. Up in the sky. Everyone was stunned. The 12 god generals and Kong Lingyuan's aura dissipated together. How was that possible? How could Kong Lingyuan have the ability to kill 12 rank 9s? Everyone saw that he had entangled 12 people earlier, but they were not anxious at all. That guy was just struggling on his deathbed. A moment's effort was enough to blow him up. 12 rank 9s were extremely powerful. Kong Lingyuan had exhausted everything. He said he could entangle them for 30 seconds. If he could entangle them for 10 seconds, he would be considered capable. In the end, they were all gone. All of them were gone, including Kong Lingyuan himself. These 13 people fell together. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. Not a single one was left. What happened? How could this be? These people were extremely stunned. The cat suddenly felt that it was a little too obvious that it had destroyed those people. Killing so many people at once. Isn't it too much? The true king's mentality had been destroyed. There were no true kings in the 7 southern territory watching the battle. Otherwise, even if they could not sense its aura, the death of so many people at once would attract the true king's attention. Maybe it's too much. I don't want to fight a true god. The cat did not say another word. It turned around and left. Before it left, there was a sudden deafening explosion in the underground pit earlier. The surrounding area was blasted into a giant pit with a radius of tens of thousands of meters. 13 fake gods self-destructing at once. That was about the power. The cat, who had already run far away, felt that it could not be bothered anymore. All 13 people self-destructed. It had nothing to do with it. I didn't do it. They self-destructed while fighting. Yes, that's it. The true God doesn't know that I did it. He won't find out. Yes, it has nothing to do with me. The cat shrugged off all responsibility. It was not me. Don't try to frame me. Old Kong. At this moment, Li Daong and the rest were also extremely stunned. Kong Lingyuan's aura was gone. He died in battle. The key was that Kong Lingyuan actually had the ability to kill 12 rank 9s. How was it possible? Even Zhang Tao could not do this in the past. When Zhang Tao really reached this step, that was when he was 1 step away from the Paragon. It could be said that he had stepped out of the Great Path by 999, 9 meters. Not only that, Zhang Tao had advanced to rank 9 from Peak Golden Body's 7th refinement. Before entering the Paragon, he had even honed his golden body to the 8th refinement. His foundation was incomparably solid. His great path was broad, and he was 1 step away from the Paragon. He was much stronger than the current Kong Lingyuan. Zhang Tao could do it, but Kong Lingyuan could not. However, why did he disappear together with 12 rank 9s? Although everyone was fighting in the same area, it was chaotic when the battle started. At that moment, not many people had the mind to observe other places. In the blink of an eye, a big explosion happened. Everyone was finished. The power was comparable to 13 rank 9s self-destructing. It was also shocking. In the sky, many people were sent flying backward by the impact. Some weaker rank 9s were almost killed by the aftermath. Some rank 7 monsters were even blown to death directly this time. At this moment, Li Daong could not care less about Kong Lingyuan. 12 rank 9s were killed in an instant. Humans' chance was here. Right now, there were only about 30 rank 9s on the catacombs side. They, including the Zhao's side, originally had 23 rank 9s. Now, there were 22 left. Although a few had lost their combat strength, there were still 17 or 18 who could fight. In the distance, Lin Long and the other 4 had arrived. It was worth it to sacrifice Kong Lingyuan alone in exchange for the lives of 12 rank 9s. Kill them all. Avenge old Kong. Li Daong roared. The void-piercing swordplay was unleashed. The rank 9 divine weapon exploded immediately. The fragments shattered the space, shooting in all directions. In the blink of an eye, a few weaker rank 9s were pierced by the fragments. Shrill screams were heard. Chapter 832. Where's the cat? At this moment, Fong Ping still did not know the details of what happened over there. He only knew that a great battle had broken out. However, he could not find the cat. This made Fong Ping very helpless. There were 15 rank 9s chasing after them. Without the big cat's help, no matter how much he and Old Man Li exploded, they could not possibly be a match for 15 rank 9s. While he was still thinking, the next moment, Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. Damn it, another rank 9s have entered the domain. There were 40 people over there. Such a powerful qi dynamic spread thousands of miles. Fong Ping might not be able to sense it now if someone entered the domain alone. However, he felt threatened and pressured by a few dozen people. Someone else has entered the domain again. Old Zhang asked me to lure hundreds of rank 9s. Now it's really more than 100. Fong Ping dared not believe it. This battle had originally planned for 18 rank 9s. Now, there were almost 140 rank 9s who had entered. On Magic City's side, the humans had also gone from a few rank 9s at the beginning to dozens now. The great battle had completely exceeded Fong Ping's expectations. These guys are coming to my side. Fong Ping's expression changed drastically again. Beside him, Old Man Li turned back to look at the pursuers behind. Right now, he directly grabbed Fong Ping's arm. He did not fly himself. Instead, he let Fong Ping fly with him. This could save some vitality. Moreover, Fong Ping had rank 9 combat boots. His speed was slightly faster. Even the origin path could not catch up to him. However, this could not go on. He also sensed a group of powerhouses moving in the direction of Mount Imperial Sea. What should we do? Old Man Li asked. Fong Ping was flustered and exasperated. You're the teacher. I'm the student. I should be the one asking you what to do. After saying that, he added, I'm only 20 years old. I'm inexperienced. Old Man Li almost smacked him to death. At this time, you still have the mood to talk about this? So what if you're 20 years old? Mother asterisk Kerr, didn't you organize and plan this great battle? Now that it has come to this, you have to take responsibility. I only have one clone of Old Zhang. It's not weak. Old Zhang's clone can kill 1 origin path or 2 weak rank 9s without a problem. Fong Ping thought for a while. Suddenly, he said, maybe we can try attacking the origin path's weakness. But I don't know if it will work. Old Man Lee, what exactly is the origin path's weakness? He really didn't understand. Everyone had always said that there were flaws in the martial Tao, and the flaw in the origin Tao was the most fatal threat. Therefore, everyone was afraid of letting others know where the flaw in the origin Tao was. However, in Fong Ping's opinion, when martial artists reached rank 9, their golden bodies would be perfected, and their bodies would be flawless. There were no flaws to speak of. How could there be a weakness attack? Old Man Lee said quickly, the so-called origin Tao flaw is actually a flaw in one's spirit and willpower. Take you for example. You actually have a flaw. If someone killed your family in front of you, would you go crazy or even lose your will? This counts as my weakness, but it shouldn't affect my battle prowess. Maybe I'll become even stronger. Although Old Man Lee did not know what he had in mind, he knew that he might be able to discover the flaws in his opponent's origin path. Old Man Lee continued, these are just one aspect. On the other hand, the origin path is actually an existence that controls an additional batch of power. The origin Tao was the great Tao, but it was also the key to unlocking additional power. The blessing it brought was actually a gift of another kind of power. If you discovered the weakness of the Tao of origin, you could think of a way to seal the source of its power. Kid, can you understand what I'm saying? The source of the origin Tao's power is shapeless and formless. We don't know where it comes from. However, once you discovered the opponent's origin Tao flaw, you might be able to seal the source of this power or even disrupt everything, causing him to suffer from the backlash of this power. When the time comes when the opponent uses the origin Tao, not only will there not be an increase in power, but you'll also be impacted by that power. If the original increase in vitality is 50,000 calories, you might have to use 50,000 calories vitality to resist this increase. Fong Ping's eyes lit up. In that case, once the flaw is discovered and the source of this power is disrupted, they still have to rely on themselves to suppress this power riot. That's right, Old Man Lee said sternly. Now do you understand why everyone dares not expose their origin Tao so easily? There are flaws in the great Tao. Martial artists, more or less, have some flaws. It's just a matter of how many. Some people have broad great Tao, but few flaws. Even if you know the flaw, it's not very useful because you can't shake it. Some people have obvious flaws. Once you discover it, it'll be easy to shake everything. When that happens, they'll be in big trouble. Martial Tao flaw. Power backlash. Fong Ping asked suddenly, then can't martial artists make up for this kind of flaw? They can. This is the path that origin Tao powerhouses are taking. While they are walking on the origin Tao, they are also making up for these flaws. It's equivalent to paving the road and repairing it at the same time. I'll make it clear. In the beginning, the road that everyone paves is a bumpy dirt road. There might be a big hole or a broken ditch somewhere. Later on, they'll constantly make up for all these, turning the origin Tao into a cement road, into an asphalt road. You understand? The stronger, the fewer the flaws. You can say that. Understood. Fong Ping said suddenly, Instructor, carry me and fly. We'll be about 1,000 meters away from them. Don't let them catch up. I'll try. These 15 fellows behind us, 5 of them have origin Tao, right? More or less. If these 5 origin Tao have a problem and are killed by us, then the remaining 10 weak rank 9s. Instructor, how many can you kill? My combat strength is unparalleled, comparable to a top-notch origin Tao. I can kill 5 of them at once. Don't brag, Instructor. You can't brag now. You'll die. Cough, cough. Don't worry. I can definitely kill 4 of them at once. Fong Ping rolled his eyes wildly. All right, even if you can kill 4 of them, there are still 6 of them. This did not even include those Origin Dao. He could not defeat 6 weak rank 9s. If these people unleashed an outburst together, 6 of them against him could definitely kill him. Fong Ping could handle 2 weak rank 9s at most. Of course, if he really wanted to fight a battle of attrition, he might be able to hold back 3 of them. However, he was still lacking a little. It was a pity that the Golden House had exploded. Otherwise, it would not be difficult to trap 2 weak rank 9s now. He could still fight the remaining 8, albeit reluctantly. We'll talk about it later. Old Zhang's split body is still here. Fong Ping could not care so much. The next moment, he grabbed Old Man Li and said loudly, "Don't lose me. I'll go to their Origin Dao to check out the situation." Old Man Li felt like he was listening to a heavenly book. What did he mean? You'll go to their Origin Dao to check out the situation? You can even go in and take a look at their Origin Dao. Fong Ping could not be bothered to say anything. He took a quick look at his own data to see if his wealth points were enough. Wealth, 380 million points vitality, 107,100 calories, 117,800 calories mentality, 4,235 hertz, 7,935 hertz, destruction power, 60 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 1 point/minute plus 1, 10 points/minute, aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus 1, 10 points/minute, origin detailed analysis, 100 million points/ time thinking back, when he just came out of the restricted area, that was more than 1 billion wealth points. Fong Ping felt that it was enough for him to cultivate to the peak. Now, Fong Ping was close to tears. This battle was not over yet, and he was going to go bankrupt again. This time, the battle had consumed too much. It could not be helped. There were too many powerhouses participating in the battle. Just his imperishable substance alone was given out by the tens of thousands of yuan, without his supply at all costs. Old Zhang would still want to fight such a big battle. Dream on. How much had he invested from start to finish? He had invested at least 60,000 yuan of imperishable substance. 4 rank 9 powerhouses, if they did not die, spending 1,000 yuan of imperishable substance at most could heal their injuries. It was equivalent to the lives of 60 rank 9 powerhouses. This was really exchanging money for lives. Without a large amount of imperishable substance, who would dare to fight with destruction power like that? They would have used up everything long ago. If others did not kill you, you would have exhausted yourself to death. I'm too important. I can't die. If I die, other things aside, if this battle continues, these rank 9s in Sino Nation will all be finished. Fong Ping was very sure. There was no other reason. These guys were all fighting at all costs this time, consuming imperishable substance. If he died, no one would provide imperishable substance. After the battle, it would be a big problem. Without the golden body, these people would be the same as MCMAU's old vice-chancellor, unless old Zhang went to plunder the bounded domain. Otherwise, it was likely that there would be one rank 9 after another, and there would be no way for him to advance anymore. Therefore, Fong Ping was also sure that if he was really in danger, old Zhang might enter the boundaries immediately to save him. It was best if he did not. Humans were actually afraid of both sides now. Old Zhang was determined to smash the table and do it once, but he was very conflicted. If he smashed the plate now, then humans would be in trouble. Sino Nation martial artists could forget about going to other catacombs. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, when there was no way out, old Zhang actually did not want to break the agreement that the top would not attack those below the top. Even the catacombs' true king did not have such thoughts. Both sides had some reservations. They were worried that if they broke the rule completely, then those below the top would face death at any time. A world with only the top left was something that both sides did not want to see. At this moment, Fang Ping also did not want old Zhang to enter the boundaries at this time. That meant that in the future, Sino-Nation martial artists could only be trapped in one place, unable to fight anymore. This would cause other martial artists to be unable to advance their ranks. So I still have to save myself. Fang Ping said no more. He had to be 1,000 meters away from the other party to be able to spy on them. He had a rough idea of this. 5 of them. If they're all the weakest kind, then it'll be 50 million points. If they're slightly stronger, then it might be very high. But it looks like they're just average. It shouldn't cost 100 million points. Fang Ping did not think that these people would consume too much wealth. 100 million points was already the limit. I'll give it a try. Fang Ping did not waste any more words. He suddenly looked at an origin powerhouse behind him. It could not be helped. The other party was strong and fast, just in front. F***CK. In the next moment, Fang Ping suddenly cursed, "Trash." At this moment, he seemed to have entered a new world. In front of him was a dilapidated, narrow path. 200 meters long. Is it even 1 meter wide? What kind of lousy thing is this? Looking at the muddy path in front of him, Fang Ping ridiculed endlessly. This was Origin Dao. Stop joking. The only one Fang Ping had seen before was old Zhang, that 10,000-meter long, infinitely extending, infinitely wide, infinitely bright heavenly path. That was what he had in mind. That was Origin Dao. But what about in front of him? It was a dim world. It was as if a small path that could barely pass through had been opened up in the chaos. It was extremely shabby. Moreover, it was getting narrower and narrower. At first, it was still 1 meter wide. Later on, Fang Ping saw that 200 meters away, the path was blocked. Both sides were like walls, directly blocking the path. There was no way out. Is this worthy of being called Origin Dao? Is this worthy of being called Heavenly Path? The path is already blocked. I'm afraid this is all I can achieve in this lifetime, unless I continue to open it up. But in this situation, the path is getting narrower and narrower. Can it be opened up? Fang Ping seriously doubted it. However, at this time, he was not interested in caring about this fellow. A fellow who had walked 200 meters away from Origin Dao was not considered weak. It was passable. However, Origin Dao was really too lacking. Fang Ping did not waste any more words. He quickly looked around. Everywhere it was dark. There was only a muddy path under his feet. Fang Ping was currently standing at the starting point. After thinking for a while, Fang Ping took the first step, officially stepping onto Origin Dao. At this moment, Fang Ping's vision blurred. He seemed to see something, but it also seemed like he did not see anything. I want to become a true king. If King Huai can become a true king, so can I. All kinds of messy thoughts began to attack Fang Ping's mind. Fang Ping shook his head. In reality, what was here at this moment was not his real self. It was just a force of willpower. However, Fang Ping was still a little shocked. No wonder old Zhang said that when you opened up Origin Dao, all kinds of messy thoughts would tempt you from all directions. Become a true king. I must become a true king. Only a true king is supreme. Fang Ping felt that this fellow's faith was not bad. It was not too messy. After all, those who could step onto Origin Dao were certainly people with strong willpower. Only one thought: to become a true king powerhouse. He looked down on King Huai at the same time. As he walked, Fang Ping seemed to see a martial artist in the dark void, in the chaos, waving an axe, opening up a path. In other words, The origin Tao under his feet. The martial artist who opened up the path was also the martial artist Fang Ping was observing. He was opening up a path in the darkness. This was the origin of origin Tao. It's very simple willpower. Become stronger. If that's the case, many powerhouses have this kind of idea. So if your willpower is strong enough, you can open up your own origin Tao. Fang Ping had doubts in his heart. He did not feel anything special. Was it because this fellow's path was too simple? Fang Ping continued walking. Suddenly, Fang Ping's eyes moved. About 100 meters in front of him, there seemed to be a gap in the path. It's too difficult. Let's go around it. When Fang Ping walked near the gap, a thought struck his mind. That origin Tao powerhouse seemed to be mumbling to himself in the void. In the past, when he opened up this place, this person seemed to waver. About 100 meters, he wavered. The path that was 1 meter wide before became narrower and narrower from this gap. The path behind the gap, in Fang Ping's eyes, suddenly shrunk by more than half. I'm not as good as King Huai. I'm not as good as other true kings. I can't do it. It's too difficult. I can't go on anymore. Go around it. Let's open up a little more. Just become a little stronger. Becoming a true king is too difficult. It's so difficult to become stronger. There's no end to the true king path. It's not that I'm weak. It's that I really can't do it anymore. A series of voices sounded in Fang Ping's mind. They were all that powerhouse talking to himself. They did not really exist, but a kind of remnant will. In the past, when this person opened up his path to this point, he began to waver. He denied his determination to become stronger. He muddled along, satisfied with himself, and was no longer willing to go on. As long as he was a little stronger, it did not have to be too strong. And Fang Ping discovered something. When this person said, I really can't go on anymore on the muddy path, that gap, there was an overflow of power. He did not know what kind of power it was. It was shapeless and intangible, but it did feel like it was overflowing. Through that hole, it was evaporating continuously. This is getting interesting. Fang Ping was a little surprised. The power was evaporating. This person had denied his own path, so the increase in power was weakened. Although he had walked 200 meters, he might not be able to achieve a 0. 2 times increase, because a lot of his power had overflowed. Then how should I make his power backfire? Fang Ping was a little puzzled. The only thing he noticed now was that the other person's origin Tao had overflowed when it reached about 100 meters. This stemmed from the other person's denial and abandonment of his own path. But was this the flaw? Don't tell me that if I go out and shout that you're a coward, he'll be crippled. It can't be, right? This is too simple. Besides, opening up the origin Tao doesn't seem difficult. This guy doesn't have any special circumstances. He just wants to become stronger, so he set foot on the origin Tao. But after that, he denied himself and cut off his own path. That's not right. Fang Ping suddenly took a few steps back, then mumbled, Origin Tao. Origin Tao isn't a path. The soil used to pave the road seems to be a special kind of accumulation. Time, experience, willpower, foundation. Fang Ping suddenly stepped on the muddy road. Then, some images appeared in the void. A teenager was waving a Chong Dao, practicing martial arts. His expression was firm and determined, like the powerhouse who opened up the path earlier. It really contains the other person's memories. This is his experience when he was young, when he was practicing martial arts. Origin Dao. So it's a kind of accumulation of foundation. Fang Ping was deep in thought. The teenager was waving the Chong Dao, his expression determined. At this moment, Fang Ping also noticed that the underground path was quite solid. When he was young, his willpower was firm, so he could achieve the origin Dao today. Since he was young, he had set his mind on becoming stronger. The first half of his path was still considered broad, until he grew old. As time passed, he no longer had the firm willpower he had back then. His heart wavered, and from then on, the origin Tao changed. Fang Ping watched for a while. He felt that he had gained something, but at the same time, he felt that he had gained nothing. This guy's origin Tao was too ordinary. He could not feel anything. However, that big gap really existed. He denied his own path. Then what should I do to make his origin Tao chaotic? Fang Ping was slightly puzzled. At this moment, Fang Ping's vision went black. In the next moment, Fang Ping realized that he was still being dragged by Old Man Li so fast. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. This was too fast. He did not even see anything. Was that it? Then, Fang Ping hurriedly looked at his wealth points depleted. He was speechless when he saw it. 15 million wealth points had been depleted. Just this thing needed to deplete 15 million wealth points. He felt like he had suffered a huge loss. However, the guy chasing after him did not seem to notice it at all. He was still chasing after him. Fang Ping immediately transmitted his voice. "Instructor, I went to look at the other party's origin Tao. I don't think I saw anything. I only know that when he reached 100 meters, he denied his own path, and there was an overflow of energy. What's the use of this?" Huh. Old Man Li's jaw almost dropped in shock, almost falling from the sky. Was this a joke? This kid really went to look at it. What kind of heaven-defying ability was this? Self-denial, weak willpower, and a flawed path. Old Man Li said a few words, then said quickly, "It's simple. To deal with this situation, make him doubt himself again. Once he doubts himself, he will immediately experience a backlash of energy." That simple? It's not that simple. Old Man Li explained. Actually, once you've discovered the other party's flaw, you have to target it. How do you make him deny himself and doubt himself? An elemental Tao powerhouse, just a few words, and it drove him crazy. Old Man Li, is there a problem? Old Man Li was also extremely dazed, but he said without hesitation, "Don't care so much. He seems to be a little confused. Let's speed up. This guy is a little crazy. His speed broke through the limit of his flesh. If we drag it out, his own flesh will collapse." Fang Ping was already extremely dazed. This could work too? Was the elemental Tao flaw really that serious? He just said a few words casually, testing the effect, but the other party seemed to have really gone crazy. The elemental Tao is flawed. Some of the deepest secrets have been dug out, and it's out of control. Fang Ping's heart was suddenly filled with fear. Martial artists were very powerful. Martial artists had always been improving their strength. Martial artists actually did not have much of a state of mind to speak of. From rank 1 to rank 8, they honed their golden bodies. Rank 9 to comprehend the elemental Tao. As for whether it would cause some strange thoughts to surface when one's strength became stronger, nowadays humans rarely did. Everyone was too busy, too dangerous, and they were all struggling to survive. But the catacombs' powerhouses, were there already some ominous signs? This elemental Tao powerhouse actually showed signs of collapsing in just a few words. This was too scary. At this moment, the other party's speed was getting faster and faster, getting closer and closer to Fang Ping, and Old Man Li suddenly let out a low roar. The long sword in his hand flew out abruptly. Fang Ping also self-detonated his mentality instantly, shaking the void. The other party's movements were sluggish. In the next second, the longevity sword pierced through the other party's skull, crushing his skull. It was unknown whether this person was dead or alive. His aura dissipated, falling straight down. The whole place was silent. At this moment, it was really frighteningly quiet. Fong Ping and Old Man Li did not say a word, continuing to run madly, the 14 powerhouses chasing after them from behind, however, were shivering in the cold. What was wrong with Jimu? Everything was fine, but he suddenly went crazy, ignoring everything, ignoring defense, going after two powerhouses who had the ability to kill elemental Tao powerhouses. Was this not courting death? Why? This question echoed in the hearts of the 14 people. This was too unbelievable. Courting death? Jimu was a divine Tao powerhouse cultivating to this stage. It was not easy. After hundreds of years, could it be that he could not even withstand Fong Ping's little provocation? They were dumbfounded. Old Man Li was actually breaking down. Kid, you killed an elemental Tao with your verbal cannon. Fong Ping's expression was stiff. He did not know whether to laugh or cry. This can't be, right? Is his willpower too weak? After a few words, he actually collapsed. Old Man Li, I'm so scared. I don't dare to take the elemental Tao anymore. Fong Ping was really a little frightened now. Mother of asterisk her, this was too unreal. Someone provoked you a few words, and you sent yourself to death. How could you do this? At this moment, Fong Ping really felt a little afraid of the elemental Tao. Maybe I should just continue to cultivate my golden body. Why take the elemental Tao? Old Man Li was speechless. After a while, he said, maybe it's more than that. Maybe fear won over something else. He was afraid of King Huai. He was afraid of what you said just now. He was already questioning himself. This kind of person is most afraid of the secrets in the bottom of his heart being exposed. Anyway, there are many reasons. You can ask old Zhang later. However, even if the flaws of the elemental Tao were discovered, it shouldn't be that easy to kill. This is an accident. As he said that, Old Man Li reminded him again, whether it's an accident or not, you've set a precedent, killing an elemental Tao with just words. Kid, your name can go down in history. This time when you go back, just change your title to Talker. Fong Ping's face was dark. He still had the time to joke around. Did he not see that the people in front were almost catching up, attacking from both sides? Big trouble. The old man did not look at where he was and spoke nonsense. You're the talker. P.S. Recommending a book, our movie era, new book on shelves, everyone support. Chapter 833. Although Ji Mu was killed by Old Man Li and Fong Ping's outburst, the other party was indeed provoked by words and came to die. Otherwise, an origin path would not die so easily. Origin path's flaw should not be used like this. Old Man Li was actually very surprised. Ji Mu's incident could only be said to be unexpected. However, at this time, both of them did not have time to care about this. The people in front began to gather here. There were a few rank 19s, and many of them had strong vitality. They might also have the ability of origin path. The catacombs must be crazy. Fong Ping cursed wildly. Was there a need to mobilize so many people just to kill him? Only 20 rank 9s were mobilized to kill Zhang Weiyu and 3 others. More than 50 rank 9s actually came to kill him, and Old Man Li. They were determined to kill him, while Fong Ping was cursing wildly. Ahead, Ji Nan's expression changed slightly. Someone has fallen. There were 15 vitality outbursts just now. In the blink of an eye, one person's vitality dissipated. He might have fallen. In today's 7 southern regions, the fall of rank 9s was more common than the fall of middle ranks. More and more rank 9s died in battle. Someone has fallen. Ji Yao was also very surprised. 15 powerhouses were chasing Fong Ping. She did not know if it was Fong Ping alone or a few people. Both Fong Ping and Old Man Li shielded their vitality. She could not sense it, but there would not be too many people. If there were too many, it would not be just 15 people chasing. Too to 3 people would be dead. In the end, when Fong Ping was being chased, he actually killed one of them. That fellow's improvement in strength was too fast. This fellow is really a huge threat. Ji Yao thought in her heart. Working with Fong Ping was actually asking a tiger for its skin. She was very clear about this point, but at least for now, working with Fong Ping would not be bad for her. Even if Fong Ping became a true king and was invincible among true kings, if she did not become a true king, then everything had nothing to do with her. Fong Ping killing dozens of true kings was also none of her business, unless her father and grandfather were killed by Fong Ping. That's good too. The stronger this fellow is, the better. If he's too weak, it's not a good thing. Ji Yao thought about this in her heart, looking at the rank 9s beside her. There were a total of 40 people here, including her, a demon phoenix sparrow. There were 39 rank 9 cultivators, and she had brought 6 with her. All of them were experts of the Tao of Origin. However, there were still close to 20 experts from the Destiny Royal Court here. He didn't know if he could make use of them. Some of the royal city lords were among them. The difference between a revived warrior and god continent is too great. Even if I were to make a move, would there be any hope of winning? If I take action, all the level 9 experts here must die. He said telepathically, Yao, when you become a lord, they will listen to you too. Uncle Wang, Yao, will ask again. If Yao, becomes a lord, will Uncle Wang listen to father, or Yao, Ji? Nan suddenly did not know what to say. Who was Ji Hong? A true king powerhouse, the current lord. Even if Ji Yao became a lord, of course, he would still listen to Ji Hong, and not the junior Ji Yao in front of him. Seeing his silence, Ji Yao said telepathically again, Uncle Wang, do you want to become a true king powerhouse? Ji Nan frowned. Ji Yao said to herself, if Yao becomes a lord, maybe when the war breaks out, I will be able to reach true king realm. Once I become a true king, Yao will have no descendants, and father will have no other descendants apart from Yao. At that time, who can become the lord of the royal court? Uncle Wang has already stepped into the divine Tao for many years, but Yao knows that Uncle Wang has no hope of becoming a true king. Father and imperial ancestor have both said this before. At that time, even if Ji family has a lord, it will not be Uncle Wang. In Yao generation, although her father only had Yao as a descendant, imperial ancestor didn't only have one descendant. There were many Ji family members. Uncle Wang wants to become a lord, but it is impossible. But Yao feels that if Uncle Wang is still stagnant at that time, maybe he can give up on his current great Tao and recultivate the Tao of the people or 2 Taos. Even if he can't become a true king, he can improve again. And all this needs someone to support Uncle Wang. Who will support Uncle Wang to become a lord? Ji Nan's gaze became even more complicated. She said telepathically, Yao, you support me? That's right. Ji Yao's gaze was solemn. But all this is under the situation where Uncle Wang also fully supports Yao. The Ji family is the Ji family. Yao, is Yao. No lord would want to be overridden by the true King Hall. Even if the true King Hall lord is imperial ancestor, there is conflict between lord and hall lord. Of course, Yao does not dare to question imperial ancestor and father. But imperial ancestor has always felt that Yao can't take on big responsibilities. Even if she becomes a lord, she will only be a puppet lord. This is not what Yao wants. Once Yao becomes a lord, not only will she not be able to govern the true King Hall, she will even lose control of the royal court. She will only have the title and nothing else. When Ji Hong was a lord, he could still govern the royal court. Under normal circumstances, the life king would only stay in the true king hall. But what about her? If she became a lord, needless to say, the life king would continue to govern the true king hall, and Ji-hong would probably continue to govern the royal court. She would truly be a lord without any power or influence. She might not even be as good as the current Li Zhu. Even if Li Zhu was sick now, whether it was true or not, that fellow still controlled the central part of the Sky Plant's army, governing 100,000 troops, plus dozens of rank, 9 powerhouses. Nan exhaled softly. After a while, she asked, "What is Yao trying to say?" "I want to be a true lord," Yao said with a determined gaze. "Not only do I want to be a true king, I want to be a true king with real power. I want the royal court to be used by me. Within the royal court, these thousands of divine generals will all be used by me. Although divine generals are not as good as true kings, if there comes a day when Yao leads thousands of divine generals and forms an army, divine generals can also fight true kings. Divine generals are not afraid of death, just like the land of rebirth. It's not impossible. Absolute, but not absolute. The difference was too big. But there were always exceptions. When a 1,000-strong divine general's army was successfully formed and a divine general combined attack technique was developed, even 1,000 divine generals could kill a god. This was not what she wanted. Back then, Li Zhu had thought of this and did it. At its peak, the Sky Plant's army had more than 30 divine generals. At its peak, the Sky Plant's army had more than 100 divine generals. Li Zhu had been studying the combined attack technique with his left and right divine generals, as well as a few true kings. He wanted to use the Sky Plant's army to fight true kings. At that time, Li Zhu's power was unparalleled. Once it was developed, the joint attack of hundreds of divine generals would truly achieve unity of power, and divine generals could kill gods. But it was also because of this that it touched the true king's taboo, which led to the subsequent events. Most of the Sky Plant's army dispersed, including monster plant powerhouses like the big green bamboo of the 7 southern regions. Some went to the outer regions, some to other places. The Sky Plant's army began to decline. Yao also wanted to become such a lord, and she had such an advantage. The lord of the true king hall was her grandfather. If she did it in the name of the Ji family, her grandfather might support her. But as long as the Heaven's Mandate army was firmly in her hands, she would have the capital to fight against the true king hall. Thousands of divine generals forming an army and developing a combined attack technique. 100 divine generals were comparable to 1 true king. What did this mean? It meant that 10 true kings would listen to her orders. Although the true king hall had many true kings, there were many factions who could gather 10 true kings to fight against them. When that time came, the true lord would reign supreme over the true king hall. Jinan glanced at his niece and sighed. Her ambition was not small, but even a lord like Li Zhu could not do these things, let alone Ji Yao, who had just stepped into rank 8. His niece was still too far away. If Ji Yao was a true king now, perhaps he would still feel that there was some hope. But now Ji Yao was nothing. Saying all this would only make people think that she was biting off more than she could chew. Nan did not reply. A faint look of disappointment appeared in Ji Yao's eyes, but she did not say anything else. No matter what, Nan would listen to her now, and so would the other Heaven's Mandate army commanders. Her father and grandfather were still alive, and this was her current confidence. I can rely on Lord Ancestor and Father, but I can't always place my hopes on Father. Ji Yao thought to herself that she still had to cultivate her own forces. It would be best if they were divine generals, and perhaps she could secretly study the divine general's combined attack technique. But this was a taboo. To ensure his own position, the catacombs' true king would not allow such a thing to happen. The true king was supreme and could kill divine generals wantonly, but the difference in individual strength between divine generals and them was too great. Even if they joined forces, it was not a true combined attack technique, and their strength would not be unified. Divine generals whose strength was divided, no matter how strong they were, could not pose a threat to the true king. But under the unification of strength, divine generals could pose a fatal threat to the true king. Martial arts had appeared in the catacombs for so many years. If they really studied it wholeheartedly, this kind of combined attack technique might have appeared. But until now, it had not. In fact, because of the true king's suppression. Ji Yao was still plotting and thinking. At the same time, Fang Ping had already entered the origin space of the second path of origins powerhouse. I have a punch that can break heaven and earth. Martial arts don't rely on external objects. Only oneself is the strongest. A punch can suppress all paths. On a small path that was about 100 meters long, a boorish man shouted loudly, his fighting spirit soaring. Giant fists appeared on the small path, bombarding the void, bombarding the path ahead, even if they were still opening up the path ahead. Fist path. Fang Ping watched for a while, seemed to have grasped the meaning of Path of Origins. Path of Origins was actually a form of willpower. These Path of Origins powerhouses had strong willpower and perseverance. This person firmly believed that everything was a fist, not relying on external objects, not relying on divine weapons. A pair of fists broke the void, opening up the path ahead. This was his path. Paths like swordsmanship, saber dao, and so on were actually taken by many people. However, everyone's direction was slightly different, and the path they took was also different. This person had probably stepped into Path of Origins not long ago, unlike the previous person who stagnated and finally denied himself, could not go on, and gave up the path ahead. This person was still determined. In the void, the rough man was still bombarding the darkness ahead, opening up his own path. Although it felt like there was no improvement, Fang Ping had a feeling that the other party was still improving. Even if it was only bombarding a few centimeters each time, it was still improvement. As for the rough man who was bombarding the void, there seemed to be something constantly merging into his body, strengthening his apparition. Faith, fighting spirit, willpower, power. This time, Fang Ping felt it more clearly than before. The other party's projection in Path of Origins was also constantly absorbing various things, strengthening itself, opening up the path. The rough man's projection was even clearer than Jimu's. Although his Path of Origins was not as long as Jimu's, on Jimu's side, the apparition was almost invisible, while this guy actually had a feeling of solidification, and was still strengthening. Interesting. I seem to have understood something. Fang Ping felt that the harvest this time was greater than before. He seemed to have understood the meaning of Path of Origins, opening up one's own path, relying on a firm will, courage to press forward, and one's own accumulation to strengthen one's Path of Origins projection, to open up the path. Battle techniques, experience, battle, these things were a kind of accumulation. These things were invisible and intangible, but they contained another kind of power, strengthening the Path of Origins projection, so that the projection had enough power to open up its own Path of Origins. I see. It's very mysterious, but it's also very simple. It's a kind of potential development. The longer the Path of Origins is opened, the stronger the infiltration energy. This energy is the source of the amplification energy. And this invisible energy, could it be coming from the Sanjiao Gate? At this moment, Fang Ping suddenly thought of the Sanjiao Gate's closed feedback energy, which also seeped out from somewhere and fed back to himself. Old Zhang had also told him before that the Path of Origins might be related to the Sanjiao Gate. If that was the case, the amplification energy of the Path of Origins might really come from the Sanjiao Gate, and the Sanjiao Gate's energy might belong to a martial artist's sealed energy. Now, it was being opened, revived, and slowly released through the laying of the path of origins. This person thinks that fist Tao is invincible, that all things belong to the fist, and uses the fist to open up the path. Other sword Tao and saber Tao powerhouses might be the same. But what does old Zhang rely on? Fang Ping had doubts again. Old Zhang's path was opened up too long and too wide. It's a pity that I couldn't see through it last time. These guys didn't notice my spying at all, but old Zhang noticed it in an instant and kicked me out instantly. Old Zhang's path might be different from theirs. Spying on this path of origins powerhouse for the second time, Fang Ping felt that he had gained a lot. If he wanted to walk the path of origins, maybe he could give it a try. Right now, I still haven't discovered my own Tao path space. These Essence Tao experts don't seem to be able to discover their own Tao paths either. They're just guessing and guessing. But if I do discover my own Essence Tao path, wouldn't I be able to directly enter it? Fang Ping discovered something unusual. These people's projections on the path of origins seemed to be unconscious. But Fang Ping discovered that he was definitely conscious here. And old Zhang seemed to be too. He remembered that before he entered old Zhang's path of origins that day, he was really kicked out. Old Zhang kicked him. His projection in his own path of origins was conscious, clear, and could kick people. Were the other paragons like this? Fang Ping did not know. He did not know if it was the difference between paragons and rank 9, or if old Zhang was special. But looking at these two now, they did not have any reaction at all. They only knew how to talk to themselves. After watching for a while, Fang Ping began to look for flaws. The path of origins generally had flaws. After all, these people had just opened up the path and did not know what the path ahead was like. Sometimes the path was not even straight and was a little crooked. Fang Ping began to walk forward along the path of origins. After walking for a while, he seemed to see a pothole. Fang Ping immediately went forward to check it out. All things are only fists. Fists can break the sky. Fists can break the sky. Maybe I should wear a pair of divine weapon boxing gloves. My combat strength will be stronger. No, martial arts don't rely on external objects. How can I use divine weapons? Divine weapons are just external objects. I should move forward bravely. But wearing divine weapons, my combat strength will be stronger. I should use divine weapons to assist. Why can't I? At this time, a murmur entered Fang Ping's mind. At this place, this Fist's Path powerhouse seemed to be hesitating whether to use divine weapons or not. This slight hesitation had also caused some flaws in the path this person opened up here, hesitating whether to use divine weapons or not. Then how should I defeat this person or even make his power backfire? In the blink of an eye, Fang Ping exited the space and became sober again. Soon, Fang Ping telepathically said, "That person is a Fist's Path powerhouse, hesitating whether to use divine weapons or not. The path of origins has some flaws here." Old man, Li's gaze flickered slightly. "This is easy, but it's a little troublesome. If it's a one-on-one, this person is dead for sure. If it's a one-on-one, if you get a pair of divine weapon boxing gloves and defeat him with strength that is lower than his faith will be shaken, he might also self-deny, and the path of origins will collapse. But now, he doesn't give us a chance to fight one-on-one. This is a little troublesome." The flaws of the path of origins were very troublesome, but he also had to have a targeted layout to deal with the other party. This kind of path of origins powerhouse, even if he could be defeated under normal circumstances, it would be difficult to kill him. However, knowing his flaws, if Fang Ping got a pair of divine weapon boxing gloves and defeated him with strength that was lower than the other party, this person might be like Ji Mu, self-denying. Even if he did not collapse the path of origins, his subsequent path opening would be blocked. The path of origins is an indomitable faith. Faith cannot be blocked. Therefore, when choosing the direction of the path of origins, it's best if it's an unchanging heart and will never change one's thoughts and never conflict with one's own path. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly understood. He felt a little enlightened after continuously observing the origins of two path of origins powerhouses. He seemed to have some understanding of the meaning of the path of origins. This was probably what the average peak rank 8 powerhouse realized, and they had a general understanding of the path of origins. Before this, Fong Ping had no feeling at all. He had no idea what the path of origins was. So that's how it is. Fong Ping vaguely felt that for a moment. He seemed to have seen a stretch of darkness. Perhaps that was the starting point of his path of origins. I feel the existence of the path of origins. However, I'm still not very clear about my thoughts, so I'm not firm enough. I'm still lacking something. If I'm firm, maybe I can enter that stretch of darkness and open up my own path of origins. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly understood how old Wu felt when he watched that short film. Perhaps he saw something, and from then on, he officially determined his direction, stepped into the path of origins realm, and officially became a path of origins powerhouse. If he were to rely on words, perhaps Fong Ping would not understand this for the rest of his life. However, when he personally went to check on other people's path of origins, he had a clear feeling. No wonder everyone wants to see other people's path of origins. With a template, it's indeed much easier to walk. Fong Ping even realized something. Perhaps he could also walk on the same path as the two path of origins powerhouses he had seen. If I have the same will, the same thoughts, the same ideas as the other party, maybe I can walk on the same path as them. This is probably how other people walk on the path of a peak powerhouse. But if that's the case, will I still be me? Before this, Fong Ping had disguised himself as a city powerhouse and ambushed them. At this moment, they did not care whether he was a city powerhouse or not. This person dared to fly directly toward them and approach them. For safety's sake, it was better to kill him. Fong Ping, longevity sword, you can't escape. Even if I have to massacre the entire city, I will kill all of you. Several rank 9 powerhouses, their force of might shook the sky, ignoring everything. Seeing the chaos in the city and the large number of people coming out of their houses, these people unleashed their force of might, directly shocking the surroundings. An expert shouted, "Everyone, don't move. If you dare to move, kill without mercy." These experts were also getting impatient. 15 people chased after Fong Ping and the others. Not only did they fail to kill them, but Fong Ping and the others killed one of them instead. What a disgrace. As for the lives of the people from the outer realms, who would care about that? A large number of powerhouses released pressure. Some ordinary people died instantly, and low-ranked martial artists exploded one after another. This was what it meant to be an expert. A powerhouse slaughtering a city was a piece of cake. In a big city, with a population of millions, a large number of people died at this moment. Some middle-ranked martial artists were trembling. A few powerhouses looked at each other. At this moment, they could no longer see Fong Ping and the others. They did not know where these two fellows went. What should we do? They're hiding inside. Are they really going to slaughter everyone? This can't go on. These two people are extremely fast. They keep escaping. We can't catch up with them. They have the ability to conceal their chi. If we're not careful, we'll lose them. Commander-in-Chief Ji, Nan, and the others seem to be arriving soon. Why don't we join forces to seal off this city, slaughter this city, and dig 3 feet into the ground to find them? If news of massacring an outer realm city gets out, we'll be easily viewed as an enemy by other outer realm powerhouses. Idiot! The 7 southern territories are in chaos today. Who knows what happened? Besides, as long as we can kill Fong Ping and the longevity sword, not to mention an outer realm city, even the 7 southern territories would be worth it. As they spoke, a group of people rushed over from afar. Before they arrived, Ji Yao said loudly, "Have you found Fong Ping's traces? Reporting to your highness, it's indeed Fong Ping and the longevity sword. These 2 are hiding in the city now. Your highness, please help us kill Fong Ping." A few powerhouses spoke one after another. Ji Yao looked around. Below, the entire city was in complete chaos. Some rank 6 martial artists and a few rank 7 martial artists were trembling with fear. Some even sneaked away. However, before these people could leave the city, they were quickly killed. The ones who killed them were not others, but many divine generals. "Don't leave the city. Seal the city. Everyone, don't make a sound. If you make another sound, kill without mercy." The powerhouses shouted one after another. Someone listened attentively and said, "Quickly, be careful of Fong Ping and the others entering the underground mineral vein and detonating it. Everyone, be careful." It was not the first time Fong Ping did this. These powerhouses were also on guard. The next moment, everyone looked at Ji Yao, waiting for a reply. Before Ji Yao could speak, Jinan interrupted. "Since Fong Ping is already confirmed to be in this city, we couldn't kill them that day in Skyplant City, but we have a chance today. 53 divine generals have gathered here. Seal the city together. 10 divine generals on each side. 13 divine generals. Seal the void. Keep quiet. Even if they escape through a hole, there will still be movement. Let the city be quiet. We must kill this person." "Everyone, what do you think?" a divine general said with a cold expression. "The movement in the city is too loud. It's hard to listen. Everyone, release your force together and kill everyone below high rank. When that time comes, they won't be able to escape." Everyone looked cold and indifferent. Back then, when Fong Ping was in Skyplant City, someone even suggested using the lives of millions of people in the Imperial City to exchange for Fong Ping's life. Now, it was just a royal city in the outer region. So what if they were slaughtered? With 53 divine generals working together, 10 people on each side, Fong Ping could not escape. This guy was also digging his own grave. Did he really think that mixing in the crowd would be safer? Childish. Ji Yao looked around and suddenly said, "Prevent them from escaping through a hole underground. Skyplant Royal Court, send a few people to seal the underground and watch the mineral vein." "Your Highness Ji Yao." Someone's expression changed instantly. Asking them to go underground at this time? Did they have a death wish? Once Fong Ping and the rest detonated the mineral vein underground, Ji Yao's expression was ugly. "You want to disobey the order? Do they dare to explode it? Right now, they are either in the city or underground. If the mineral vein is blown up, they can forget about escaping. It's worth it to exchange your lives for Fong Ping and the other 2s. Even the Skyplant Royal Court's true king will not object. A few more people, they won't die. Even if I say it in front of the true king, I will say the same thing. Are you going or not? If you don't go, if Fong Ping and the rest escape, it will be your responsibility." At this moment, the divine generals of Destiny Royal Court looked at those people. Some of them had a playful look on their faces. Even if she asked them to go underground, Ji Yao would not hide it at all. It did not matter whether they died or not. Even if you have the ability to kill God general-level powerhouses, how many can you kill? Ji Yao paused. Her mentality continued to wander around the city. She said slowly, "However, I can give you a chance. Come out now, surrender, and follow me to Destiny Royal Court. I can spare your life." Yao, Jinan sent a voice transmission quickly, frowning slightly. Ji Yao also sent a voice transmission. "Uncle Wang, this is the will of Grandmaster Wang and Father. We still need Fong Ping in the royal battleground. Besides, His ability is special. If we capture him, we might be able to pry into some secrets. Once we grasp his secrets, we can also hide our auras and even change our auras. Uncle Wang, do you know what this means? Ji Nan's expression changed. Ji Yao sent another voice transmission. So, our goal is not to kill Fang Ping, but to capture him alive. Later, if they show up, Uncle Wang, listen to my command. To prevent the news from leaking, kill the heavenly plant's powerhouses at the critical moment. Uncle Wang, can you command the other god generals of Destiny Royal Court? Some of them can be. Then let's do this. The others who can't be trusted, kill them all. Yao wants to bring Fang Ping out of the 7 southern regions and back to Destiny Royal Court. Uncle Wang, if we can find out the source of Fang Ping's special ability, or even the method of the creation of imperishable substances to the royal court, it will be much better than conquering the 7 southern regions. Ji Nan's expression changed again. This was true. Capturing Fang Ping alive was really a huge treasure trove. Fang Ping was also in the human world, and he had a few true kings protecting him. If not, in the catacombs world, such a person would have been skinned and dissected by the true kings long ago. His ability was too frightening. He could disguise himself as anyone. He could also create large amounts of imperishable substances. If such an ability was obtained by others, especially by the true kings, it could even change the entire state of Godland. This time, the true kings of Godland had mobilized so many god generals in the 7 southern regions. Killing Fang Ping was actually the main goal. Killing the others was just a secondary goal. However, Fang Ping was difficult to kill, so they surrounded and killed the others first, preparing to catch a turtle in a jar. Ji Nan did not speak again. Ji Yao's mentality wandered in all directions again, shouting, "Fang Ping, come out, I can guarantee your life." This woman actually came too. In the sewer, Fang Ping was a little surprised. Ji Yao still dared to come? This fellow had been beaten up by him so many times. Her courage was beyond the heavens. Moreover, this was a rank 9 battle. Although there were many rank 9s in the catacombs, it might not be safe. She actually dared to enter at this time. Was she not afraid of dying here again? Moreover, this time, there was no true king to protect her. This time, if the true kings dared to enter, they had to defeat Sino Nation's absolute peak. Fang Ping, a subtle wave of mentality, was wandering around, also wandering past Fang Ping's side. The mentality did not discover Fang Ping, but it swept past him, bringing with it a subtle tremor of mentality. Fang Ping's expression changed slightly. If you still don't show up, I will have people blow up the mineral vein of life. When that time comes, you have nowhere to run. It won't be as easy as it is now. Ji Yao's mentality was still sweeping around. The other rank 9 powerhouses were also guarding their own areas, extremely vigilant. At this moment, there were not many people who came to check on Ji Yao. It would be best if Ji Yao could lure Fang Ping out. If she really blew up the city, the commotion would be too big, and Fang Ping might take advantage of the chaos to escape. To many people, this was even Ji Yao's strategy to lure the enemy. She deliberately lured Fang Ping out to die. In the sewer, Fang Ping's expression changed again and again. He quickly sent a voice transmission to Old Man Li. This woman. Just now, there was a tremor of mentality. Did you feel it? Yes, I felt it a little, like there was a complicated mentality fluctuation. Why? Fang Ping said suspiciously. She seemed to want me to communicate with her. What does she mean? Old Man Li's mouth was wide open, sending a voice transmission. You brat, you're good. Did you hook up with the catacombs? This woman fell for you? Stop bullshitting. Fang Ping was speechless. What time was it? Old Man Li was very bold today. At this juncture, He was always saying these insensible things. Ji Yao wanted him to communicate with her. What did she mean? Was this woman trying to lure him out on purpose so that he would expose his whereabouts? Fong Ping, have you forgotten what you said at the Land of Kings before you went out? The next time we meet, you won't be as lucky as before. This time, you have nowhere to run. When Old Manly heard this, he immediately sent a voice transmission. TSK, TSK. What did you say to this woman when you went out of the Land of Kings? The memory is still fresh in my mind. She looked like a resentful wife. What did you do to her? Can you stop bullshitting? Fong Ping racked his brains. Suddenly, his gaze flickered slightly, sending a voice transmission. Last time at the Land of Kings, before I left, I said that we can work together next time. If they have trouble that they can't solve, they can call me in the outer domain. I'll help them arrange to get rid of their enemies. Old Man Li's expression changed slightly. What did she mean? What did Ji Yao mean by saying this? Was she luring Fong Ping out on purpose so that he would expose his whereabouts? Or did she have other motives? Fong Ping was also frowning, quickly sending a voice transmission. Try it. Instructor, be careful. If anything goes wrong, break out toward the west immediately. Before we leave, I'll blow up the mineral vein, create chaos. Remember, don't get entangled. You want to communicate with her. That's right. Fong Ping, be careful. Don't ever trust the people from the catacombs. Right now, we're blocked here. Once she discovers our whereabouts, it'll be easy to be targeted and killed. The royal city was not small. It was still okay if they did not know where Fong Ping was now. These powerhouses, even if they destroyed the city bit by bit, needed time. However, once they knew Fong Ping's exact location, they would notice this side. Then it would be troublesome. It's okay. I've restrained my aura. I can shift by 1,000 meters. She can only lock onto a radius of 1,000 meters. It'll be hard for her to discover my exact location. Instructor, get ready. It's time to run. Run now. After saying that, Fong Ping's mentality quickly moved, quickly coming into contact with a wandering mentality underground. Ji Yao, you've got guts. You still dare to come. Fong Ping. Ji Yao's mentality also instantly locked onto the place where Fong Ping's mentality was exposed. In midair, Ji Yao did not make a sound, but her mentality quickly split into two. The other part of her mentality continued to wander, continuing to shout for Fong Ping to come out and surrender. However, a part of her mentality quickly came into contact with Fong Ping. You have nowhere to run this time. Fong Ping, how does it feel? Ji Yao's tone was thick with sarcasm. This time, you finally fell. Idiot! Fong Ping scolded, saying bluntly, do you really think you can kill me? You're thinking too much. You think too highly of yourself. Kill me? What a joke. King Wu is just outside the passageway. If anyone wants to kill me, he'll immediately enter the domain to kill you. Ji Yao, hurry up and get your people out of here. Otherwise, don't blame me for not warning you if you die. Ji Yao's heart moved. King Wu wanted to completely fall out with divine land for Fong Ping. Fong Ping was so important. However, on second thought, even the catacombs understood Fong Ping's importance. How could King Wu not? If that was the case, then the possibility of killing Fong Ping and King Wu entering the domain was very high. Ji Yao felt a slight chill in her heart. As expected, the Land of Rebirth really did not intend to follow the rules this time. They were already prepared for the true King War. Ji Yao was immediately at a disadvantage, but she no longer cared about this. This was good. It seemed like Fong Ping could really let the true King Rebirth do some things. The next moment, Ji Yao said quickly, I don't want to talk nonsense with you anymore. A deal? No, I'll help you. I'll help you get through this. I can help you kill the god generals here. Even help you win the god generals battle. You're my daughter? Fong Ping sneered. You're so nice to me. You like me? You want to hit on me? Forget it. Women from the catacombs. I'll kill everyone I see. Don't try this. Cut the crap. What's your purpose? First, after this, you have to go to the land of rebirth and help us open up the land of rebirth. Second, you have to contact the true king of the land of rebirth and kill a few true king powerhouses who are against me, the 100 Mountain King, the Green Wolf King. The Green Wolf King doesn't matter, but the 100 Mountain King must be killed. I can let my father and the rest cooperate with the true king of the land of rebirth. Fong Ping, you know what I want? The 100 Mountain King is against me becoming the Lord. You know the reason better than I do. If I become the Lord, it will only bring benefits to the land of rebirth, no harm. At least before I become a true king, the palace is unwilling to start a war with the land of rebirth. You know this too. At this moment, Ji Yao was also very clear-headed. She said quickly, if I kill the 100 Mountain King and become the Lord, the war between the palace and the land of rebirth can be delayed for a few years, returning to the previous situation. Don't bargain with me. Killing the true king is also beneficial to all of you. Doesn't the true king of the land of rebirth want to kill a few more true king powerhouses? Ji Yao, looks like I didn't teach you for nothing last time. You do have some ideas. Fong Ping was also laughing heartily, his mentality carrying a thick smile. He said, I'm your master, right? Look at how well I've taught you. The second condition is indeed, as you said, it's good for both of us. The 100 Mountain King is very powerful. We want to kill him too. However, I have to say, the 100 Mountain King is not our current goal. The 100 Mountain King's existence is instead a hindrance to the Ji family. Also, to kill the 100 Mountain King, it's too dangerous. Perhaps our paragon will have to pay with his life. It's not worth it. Fong Ping, the situation has come to this. You still want a bargain. If that's the case, then forget it. If I find you and kill you, the result will be the same. What's the hurry? Fong Ping scolded, saying quickly, I can promise you the second condition. I need to consider the first condition. There's no hurry. Let's talk about the current situation first. There are more than 50 god generals. You're just a piece of trash who just entered rank 8. How can you kill them? I've brought 6 god realm powerhouses into the territory, and 4 god generals are in other places. Moreover, there are many palace god generals here. We can kill the Heavenly Plants clan powerhouses first. However, you have to be captured by me. Huh? You want me to be captured by you, using me as an excuse to appease the people? That's right. In your dreams, then I'll be at your mercy. No way. Fong Ping, I've already given in a lot. If you're not willing, am I supposed to tell everyone directly that I'm working with you? If you don't even dare to take this bet, how can we talk about working together? Then if I'm captured by you and you get someone to kill me, won't I die for nothing? No, it's not impossible. How about this? You can capture me, but we can't be more than 10 meters apart. I have a few Paragon clones with me. If you want to kill me, I'll drag you to hell with me. If that's the case, I'll agree. Otherwise, don't even think about it. Right, even if you have the Life King's clone, it's useless. Don't doubt me. The Martial King's clone, the Battle King's clone, the Garrison King's clone, none of them are weaker than the Life King. I've brought all these. I'm not trying to scare you. There's no need. If you agree, we'll work together. If you don't, then forget it. You can get someone to surround and kill me now. See if they can kill me. Fong Ping said quickly. Ji Yao pondered for a moment, then said quickly, Sure, I'm very sincere. But, as you said, the 100 Mountain King is very strong, and the only one I want to kill is the 100 Mountain King. Can you really do it? Now, the most vehement objection to her becoming the Lord was the 100 Mountain King. He was also a top-notch true king, who was comparable to powerhouses like the Battle King. He objected, and the Ji family was helpless. If this dragged on, a war might break out, and the position of lord could not be determined. The Green Wolf King was incidental, just for Ji Hong to hear. Ji Yao's only goal was the 100 Mountain King. You guys cooperate 100%. If you don't believe me, ask the Martial King. Is the Martial King right? Yes. At this moment, a weak mentality fluctuated. The rank nines at the periphery almost did not notice. The voice came from Fang Ping's arms. A crystal book. Ji Yao almost lost control in shock. The Martial King's clone actually had independent thoughts and consciousness. How was this possible? She was stunned. Fang Ping almost vomited blood. F***CK. What's going on with old Zhang? The clone that cut this time seemed to be stronger. Logically, this was just a program with no intelligence. But now it seemed a little bit. But it seemed understandable. Fang Ping remembered that the first time he used old Zhang's clone, old Zhang even offered him a price. Old Zhang is getting stronger and stronger. But that's probably it. Maybe it's a fixed program. Forget it. I don't care anymore. I have to use this guy's clone. He keeps spying on me. It's a waste not to use it. Fang Ping thought to himself. Ji Yao, on the other hand, was extremely shocked. Fang Ping really had the Martial King's clone, and it was extremely powerful. This kind of clone that could talk, unless it was extremely close to the true king and possessed intelligence, or it was extremely powerful and had independent thoughts. It was stronger than the average Origin Dao, and it might not be weaker than the Divine Generals on the Divine Generals ranking. In addition to the true king's control of power, this clone might have the ability to kill Ji Nan. The true king personally responded. Although Ji Yao was a little shocked, she was also much more relieved. She said quickly, since Master Martial King has agreed, then Ji Yao will not say more. Fang Ping, I'll leave the 5 underground to you. Leave the rest to us. After killing these people, you will all be captured by me. No, only me. Let my teacher leave. Beside her, old Manly shook his head. He would not leave. If he left, Fang Ping might not be able to leave safely alone. Fang Ping, on the other hand, quickly sent a voice transmission to Old Man Li. It's okay. Go and help the others quickly and kill the strong enemy. If you don't go and rescue them, some of our people might die. It's more convenient for me to go alone. Okay. Old Man Li was not an indecisive person. He agreed quickly, but immediately warned, don't be fooled by her. Be careful. Fang Ping rolled his eyes. Did this woman, Ji Yao, deserve to be fooled by him? Old Zhang and I might have agreed to it now, but when the time comes, we'll fall out with each other. It's not like you don't know that. Kill King 100 Hills. If the situation was right, killing King 100 Hills and Ji Hong was about the same. Ji Yao, this idiot, did she really think that old Zhang meant what he said? Stop joking. Old Zhang was shameless. Everyone in the true king knew that, not to mention that it was just a clone who agreed to it. Even if it was him who agreed, he could go back on his word. Fang Ping was too lazy to talk. He said quickly, attack in 10 seconds. There are many people in the heavenly plant's lineage. If someone escapes, then it's your incompetence. Don't blame me for going back on my word and running away. Let's wait and see then. Ji Yao's tone was cold. Fang Ping's attitude still pissed her off. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.